I don't know about you folks, but one of the markets that fascinates me in the country is Phoenix, Arizona. It is one of those markets where flippers, the iBuyers came in, distorted the market, then they all left and it distorted the market, and then it came back and inventory's doing this and that. And I don't know. We've got to talk to somebody that knows all things Phoenix, and we have the one and only Farah with us. How you doing, Farah?
Hi, it's nice to see you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
There you go. Well, do me a favor, Farah. Introduce yourself to the audience. What do you do? What do you do for a day job? And we'll get started talking about Phoenix.
Yeah, so I'm a real estate agent. I'm with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services out of the Camelback office, so right in Central Phoenix. But I work with everyone throughout the valley. So, whether you want to talk far West Valley and all the development and construction going out there, or luxury homes in Paradise Valley and Scottsdale, I've been there, done it, and worked on transactions.
There you go. Well, before we get into the latest numbers from September and some of the predictions, why don't we talk about the Phoenix real estate market from an agent's perspective the last couple of years, right? Because it has
Yeah.
seen some wild things. So, feet on the ground, transactions in flight. How's Phoenix been from your pure purview since 2020? Just kind of
Oh,
summarize for us.
yeah. So Phoenix has been wild, right? I mean, I remember back March 2020, COVID is just starting and no one knows what's going on. And that people got some great deals then. I mean, was it open door stop buying for those few months right there? The world was on pause. And
Right.
so if you were a buyer then, you just, you got everything you wanted just because people were giving away the farm because we didn't know what the
Yeah.
future was like. And then, we fast forward and the interest rates were so low and then the stimulus money and the market just went absolutely crazy. I mean, you could not get into a home for asking price. Everything was above ask. Like the asking price was a starting bed. Effectively, is
Yeah.
basically the best way to describe how that was. You saw I didn't always recommend it for clients, but you saw people like waiving appraisals, waiving inspections, waiving
Yeah.
all of that, just to try to be part of the conversation to buy
Yeah.
someone's home.
Just to get to best and final, you were waiving things. Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah, no, and it was an extreme time, and it was really frustrating for a lot of buyers that were looking for financing, because we
Yeah.
had post COVID with the digital, everyone going to work
Mhm.
from home, anyone could live anywhere. And Arizona was a relatively cheaper market compared to, the Californias, the Washington,
Yeah.
Illinois, and some of the others. And so we had this influx of people coming in. And, when they're selling their homes in their good markets, they're coming in with cash and like, so for our, local buyers that were having to finance, it was a really tough time, but great for
Yeah.
sellers.
Yeah, it was really good for sellers if you happen to be a seller. But yeah, that was one question I was going to ask. So I was following the iBuyers and their nonsense that they were doing, but it's curious about the migration path.
Yeah.
There was a fair amount of that whole, I sell my shack in California and I buy a mansion in Phoenix for cash. There was really a fair amount of that.
Yeah. And I can see why people did that. I mean, California is beautiful, has the weather, but the quality of life overall, we have less traffic. Life is just easier than Los Angeles, especially, and even San Francisco, the Bay Area here
Yeah.
in the Valley. And so they saw a big quality of life improvement and their money could go so much further. So I mean, it makes sense why they did that. But like I said, our housing prices just went through the roof and beyond what our local economy like really could afford.
Yeah, I think
And
there's a lot of
I,
cities.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a
yeah, the
lot of cities
iBuyer
that are seeing that.
situation too was
Yeah.
was extreme. And everyone always makes like the jokes like, oh, uh technology and algorithms can replace real estate agents. And that could, there's definitely going to be some integration with AI in the future without a doubt. But if one thing with like Open Door, Zillow's iBuyer program, you need more than an algorithm because
Yeah.
like those
You could
work at
you could lose a
complete
lot
level.
of money relying on an algorithm. Yeah.
Exactly. So we saw that firsthand too. So you need that combination of like the stats, but as well as like the local knowledge too.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So let's go back to one of the things that
Yeah.
happened in Phoenix, I think it was late, pretty much this time last year. is you kind of had all the iBuyers kind of exit at the same time. And now they don't, there's a couple still, dabbling around, but the volume is way down.
Yeah.
And they were obviously net sellers. We did
Yeah.
see Phoenix inventory spike. I think it was like 10,000 or something like that. And
Yeah.
then it did roll over for, I don't know, 9 months, but it does seem to be
It's going
spiking
back up.
again.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely going back up. This, the our inventory. So we're seasonally, so a lot of people pull their inventory in the summer. I
Okay.
know in other markets, that's when you see the most inventory usually, but a lot of our sellers pull it just because, the heat is
Yeah. It's
unbearable.
unbearable. They don't want, nobody's going to do an open house
And
when
so
it's
yeah, so
110.
the idea of looking outside at houses and doing that whole thing and that, who wants to move and live here
Okay.
in the summer. So we're starting to see kind of after Labor Day, you see that go back up, and
Oh,
that's a
interesting. Oh,
seasonality
okay.
kind of normalcy. But we are seeing the month's inventory of supply has, we were down to less than 2 months
Okay.
inventory, which is a strong seller's market, and now we're going back up. As of we're right at 12,000
Mhm.
homes for sale right now in the inventory, which for a while we were at like the 9,000, ten
Mhm.
thousand. So that's
Yeah,
a huge difference.
20%. Yeah.
Hmm.
All right. So some
Yeah.
of that seasonality, that's good to know. Again, this is why
Mhm.
you're here to talk about Phoenix, because as an outsider, kind of looking at all the history, I wouldn't have known that, but it makes perfect sense, right? You pull listings in the summer, you list after Labor Day. That makes good sense. Are you
Yeah.
seeing, I mean, is Phoenix like a lot of the country where what's the median price in Phoenix roughly?
Yeah, so it right now, as of September 30th, the median sale price was 430,000 roughly.
Okay, so
Um,
430.
so yeah, but to keep in mind, May, June of last year, it was
Mhm.
475,000. So
Ah, okay.
that seems to have been the peak from this chaos. I'm so sorry. Sorry. That
What?
seems to be the chaos. It was 475 from our peak, and then
Okay.
we're going back down to 430,
All right.
and no one knows how low we'll go, but
Yeah.
the
So
I think
is
we're
it
kind of
going
wrong.
down? Is the downtrend still intact? Like,
No, I
been a
mean,
slow.
we're like going down, but it's more of like a wobble down, if that makes
Okay.
sense. I
Sure.
mean, so October might actually end up being a little bit higher, like more like 435,
Okay.
for the median. So it's like, um, so like September, every other month we seem to be doing like more of like a
Yeah.
that, but it's going down
Okay.
slowly, but
All right. And then the reason I asked about the median is I'm seeing this in a lot of markets. And again, I don't know Phoenix, so this could be completely wrong. But
yeah,
it does appear that anything below the median, certainly 80% of the median, so let's call it 350,
yeah.
is selling like hotcakes.
Oh yeah,
With
you're hard pressed to find something. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's crazy. And then if you're 2x the median, so what would that be? Like 860?
Hmm.
It's slow in the
Yeah.
luxury market. Is that Phoenix as well?
So I mean, if you were to find something for 350, it would be gone. Like if you
Okay.
put it on Wednesday, you'd have probably a full price offer, even with these interest rates,
Mhm.
within days, just because that is, especially if it was like move-in ready condition, just in this
Yeah.
market, like that's still like unheard of, looking on the MLS really. So the luxury market isn't as slow as it is in other parts of the country,
Mhm.
right now. I mean, like for instance, I know in Los Angeles, some of the luxury market, like
Mhm.
you can get a steal of a deal right now and actually really
Yeah.
negotiate in that luxury market. Here, it's a little bit of the sellers, I know what I have kind of philosophy still.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
so and also the demand is just a little bit more too. So it's you're not being able to negotiate as well, but it's not
Okay.
that slow either. And I
Okay.
think
Very, very cool.
our average days on market right now, I mean, it's up, but it's like 50, or no, excuse me, the median days on market is 36 and the average is
Oh,
56 for September.
okay.
So I mean, it's slower than why is it not under contract in 3 days? But I
Right.
mean, in a
That's
normal, what's
Yeah.
wrong with it, right?
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
in,
After 3 days.
in a normal cycle, like we're telling buy or sellers all the time, like, look, it's been in 30 days. It's okay. That's
Yeah.
normal.
Okay. Very, very cool. Well, what are some other stats about September and how do they compare
Yeah.
earlier in the year? So you have some data you want to share. What are some of Phoenix
Yeah,
stats?
yeah. No, so the supply right now, as of September, we had 2.3 was the monthly supply.
Okay.
And traditionally we like to be in like the 3 month supply would be
Hmm.
considered a healthy market.
Okay.
Um, but we were like at the 1.5 months. So we're definitely getting more inventory
Hmm.
going forward. And I will say, even in this, like we said at the beginning, the asking price was the starting bid, and now
Hmm.
you're seeing the median list price is actually like 460, and then the
Oh,
median sales price is 430. So there is definitely a shift in that too,
hmm.
whereas before it was an inverse of that.
Right, right, right. Very, very cool. Are iBuyers still a thing in Phoenix at some level?
I don't, yeah, they're not. Uh, I would say not like they were, right? Like they would
Okay.
just come in and just buy like a whole, like they would do like what, 50 transactions a day, something crazy like that.
Oh, wow.
Um they got rid of a lot of their inventory. I remember Open Door at the beginning of 2023 had over 1,000 properties,
Hmm.
right? And then by June, July, I think there were less than 100. So imagine, and that's just this market.
Yeah.
Just, you know, just
Yeah.
selling all of those. But I don't
Okay.
see them buying in groves like they were before. Some others, they had the gimmicks like we'll sell your house like within
Right.
so many hours and all of those. They have now like massaged that slogan to be a little bit more reasonable, and it's not as firm of a promise and commitment as it was before. So it's
Very,
it's
very
definitely
cool.
shifting and easier for buyers right now.
That's good. So if we were at 470, kind of the peak, and we're currently 430, you have do you know what it was like 2020, 2021, just to for scale?
Yeah, let me see. I can find that right here. 2021. I have, let me see. Well, going December of 2022
Okay.
was 411.
Okay. All right. So you've been above,
So
you've been, 400, 470,
yeah,
430.
yeah. I mean,
Okay.
we were right. Like I would say going into like the 400,000 like low. I mean, we've definitely seen
Okay.
an increase. It's inflation and everything. I don't know if we'll go back to, the pre like low interest rates and the
Hmm.
pre kind of like buyer frenzy. Um, it'll be interesting to see. But yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I don't know about Phoenix is what are builders building today, right? Is it bunch of townhomes and condos? Is it small homes? Are they doing
Here's
mansions? What are they building?
A little bit of everything. One thing about builders is you're seeing a lot of rates. I get callers from the sales agents at new builds, and one was offering rates like at the 5.5 to 6%, depending on your credit score. I mean, and
Wow.
this is when, yeah, I mean, and we're like at the average of 7.8 right now.
Right.
So builders are offering deals, trying to get people to come through the door. But you're seeing a lot of build to rent is
Okay.
what
Oh, tell
you're
me about that.
that is the new trend. If iBuyers was the trend of 2021, 2022,
Okay.
build to rent is the new trend in Phoenix. Yeah. So
Ah,
they're
build to rent's
they
the new
look
trend. There you go.
yeah, they look like single family homes. Mostly not even like the townhomes, but like, detached structures. But they're whole communities and subdivisions of rentals. So that is what I'm seeing the most, even more so than townhomes.
Okay.
Uh,
Build to
we
rent.
do have
Now, are we talking small communities, 10, 20, big old 100 unit? Give me a
no, like
scale you
like
think.
100, yeah, like 50 to
Okay.
100 plus unit
Wow.
communities of just, yeah. So you're
Now,
seeing those pop up all over
okay.
Phoenix.
That's very interesting. So, I'm going to guess that these build for rent communities typically have one buyer, like, Lennar or somebody may build them, but they sell it to one hedge fund.
Yeah.
Or is it just a bunch of little mom and pop landlords buying all of these?
No, no, no. For the most part, you're seeing like, the institutional money is now, instead of, buying the independent and then like doing the iBuyer thing, right? They're now
Okay.
doing, we have the land,
Right.
and we're going to build, and instead of sell it, just rent it out. And that's their new, you have
Okay.
more control in that sense, right? I mean, it
Yeah,
makes
of
sense.
course. Yeah,
You
I mean,
know,
I remember
yes.
when Wall Street came into real estate in what was it like 2008, 9, and 10, they were buying the junk that they had to
Yeah.
fix up. Now they're looking at the junk going, man, this is maintenance is expensive. Let's go buy some new
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah, no, so just go build it. And then one of the communities I saw recently, I think it was a Lennar actually builder, and I don't know if they are just keeping ownership, so it's a way of branching out,
Yeah.
but it's also making it harder too. And yes, there is land, and yes, there's all these new homes right in the pipeline, but buyers can actually buy them. I mean, they can
Right.
live in them, but rent. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's really interesting because again, obviously, one rental at a time is the channel, and um, I've seen some pretty strong single family rent growth over the years. It's going to be interesting because historically we always competed with apartments, right? Mom and
Yeah.
pop landlords, we compete with the big apartments. But now, if we got
Yeah.
Wall Street coming in and buying entire communities,
Yeah.
that's going to be interesting because the supply of single families will go up, but obviously it's
Yeah.
Wall Street or whatever owning them. They're probably not going to be
Yeah.
very friendly. So maybe mom and dad, win. But it's going to be interesting to watch just how much. Is this a 1 year flash in the pan, and then Wall Street goes on and does something else, or is this become a
Yeah.
2024 thing as well?
I think I think it's going to be more of a 2024 thing as well, because I know um even I would call them like mid-size that are
Mm.
looking at buying land, and this is a smaller their scale, it could be like 16 to 30
Okay.
homes, right? So and they're under contract to purchase some land and do the same thing. So
Okay. There you
you
go.
saw it, like we're seeing it at scale, and now it's going down
Yeah.
to like the more mid-size. We're like, oh hey, like I can do that. And
Yeah.
I'm
Why
sure
can't I do
eventually,
that? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure eventually we'll see kind of like the flippers did, where like after HGTV, everyone was a flipper, right?
Right.
After that, I think we're gonna probably see, they have like one parcel, and it's zoned appropriately so they can do like townhomes
Mm.
and make their own little community of 8 to 12. And I think that is the trend, because everyone loves
Okay.
the idea of being a landlord and the passive income. I mean, there's so many
Right.
tax advantages and benefits to doing that. So
Right.
again, it makes sense. But there's also some
Yeah.
consequences with that
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
too.
Exactly. What else? So any ideas, thoughts where Phoenix goes from here? Because Phoenix has been a wild market to watch the ups and the downs.
Yeah.
We're sitting here. I think you said we're 12,000 inventory.
Yeah.
Um, where
Well,
where do you see it going?
yeah, I think our transaction volume has been so low, and will be low this year, which is after this market. Sellers are on edge. Like I said, why did it not sell in 3 days used to be the
Mm.
mindset, and now here we are sitting at 36, and we're probably going to get closer to that 60 days. So I think we're going to have some more price reductions.
Okay.
Um, it's so funny. They always a price improvement.
Yeah,
Is
pricing.
what they call it. And I was like, the spin game is strong.
Oh, that's great. That's good. Price
For a
improvement. That's
price
strong.
improvement as opposed to like a reduction in price. Uh, it's all
Yeah.
semantics. But
Yeah. I like
I
it.
think we're going to see that this interest rate environment. I don't have a crystal ball, so I don't know what interest rates are going to do. And it's scary to see some people in the industry that are like, oh yeah, they'll be down by like, Q2 of 2024. And I'm like, I would not plan your life budget
No. Yeah.
around
Yeah.
that, and I caution everyone from
Yeah.
doing that.
Marry the house, date the rate. Is that
Yeah,
this?
no,
Wow.
no, no,
That's not
no. I
good.
mean, it needs to make sense. And even people that are looking for like their own investment properties, and they're like, oh, well, I can absorb the cushion until I can refinance. I was like, no, no, no. If it
No, no,
doesn't
no,
work
no, no.
today, like it's not a good deal, and we need
Absolutely.
to make sure everyone knows that. And when they hear otherwise, like
Yeah.
proceed with caution.
Oh, I love that advice. It's great advice. Well,
But yeah, I think one thing too about the market, I'm seeing some of my own personal like repeat investor clients that I've worked with, is they're actually looking to pull out of residential, and they're looking more towards, oh my gosh, sorry, the cool guys here.
I can't hear anything, so you're
Um,
fine.
but the one thing that the investor clients are looking to do is pull out of residential, and they're moving more towards commercial,
Oh,
because
interesting.
we're all seeing kind of what's happening with commercial too. And I think even more than residential having the decrease, we're going to see some pretty bad times in the commercial market. Because that's also been crazy here. Like, I also have some commercial clients. They're trying to get an industrial building to just to lease, or trying to get, your small mom and pop manufacturers. There's so many people competing, similar to the residential world. And so, I think that's where we're going to see a bigger decrease.
Lots of stuff going on in Phoenix. Farah, if somebody wanted to reach out to you to buy or sell, how would they do that?
Yeah, I'm available via Twitter. Also, you can give me a phone call and or email. I am just Google my name and I'm there,
There you go. Farah Sutton.
Yep.
Yep. I follow her on Twitter, so that's why I found her. Phoenix, Arizona, Scottsdale, all the wonderful areas there. Farah, thank you very much for being here and shedding light on Phoenix.